Thank you so much. Thank you to Chika, David, and Midha. We are very blessed to have you as a panel because you bring such diverse perspectives and experiences that we are all keen to learn from you. But before we begin, I just want to set a context for Retail Media Network because what we have realized, even while we're sitting in the speaker's room, that the interpretations and understanding of Retail Media Network is very, very wide because the scope itself is very wide. So we thought it would be a good idea for us to have a quick context. Can we have the slides, please? A quick context on Retail Media Network and what it means. So MMA formed a think tank for Retail Media Network about a year ago. We have a panel of about 13 committee members who come from different backgrounds. They represent marketers, they represent platforms, they represent commerce sites, they represent retailers, they represent agencies, measurement partners, and a wide variety of backgrounds. So we are very keen to have diversity of opinion and expertise on that. So what exactly is Retail Media Network? So Retail Media Network essentially offers advertising opportunity for a brand to advertise whenever someone is on the path to purchase. So essentially what happens is, as we start as consumers, I'm sure all of us are buying online or researching online and buying offline. So the moment we are in our journey to buy something, to purchase something, we spend a lot of time in researching online. And essentially what happens is that offers a brand an opportunity to connect with people during their path to purchase. So essentially anyone which is an online commerce platform or any retailer who has a website or any retailer who is an omni-channel, essentially any opportunity for all of us to advertise on those brands. So any opportunity, whether it is online, which is on the website, in-app, or in-store, or off-site, these are all the opportunities for people to communicate with people who are in their paths to purchase. So this is what exactly Retail Media Network means. And just yesterday, MMA released a white paper on Retail Media Network. So please make sure that you download that. So please search on the MMA site. You'll find that there is a white paper published on Retail Media Network. We just published it yesterday. So please, it's free for members, so please free to download it. Just to set the context, Retail Media Network investment globally is likely to be in the range of $165 billion globally. That is a huge business opportunity, and which also means that there is a big opportunity for brands to connect with people. Now, according to eMarketer, the share that Retail Media Network will have will be about 21% of all digital. So Retail Media Network is growing very fast, and globally it is expected to grow by about 13% every year. Now, while this is happening globally, what happens in the region? So let's go to the slide which talks about Indonesia. And according to Grab and Kantar study, I think it's 2 slides later. According to Grab and Kantar study, Indonesia will be the growth engine for Retail Media Network. It's the fastest growing, and obviously, as all of us know that, not just because of volumes, but because of the advancement. This is something which happens typically very quickly. So in case of Indonesia, the growth rate that Indonesia will have for Retail Media Network will be about twice that of the global growth rate. So Indonesia is a growth engine, and therefore all of us should be keen to learn from that. So this is something that we've seen, that in Retail Media Network means a lot of different things to different people, and therefore we thought it's good to set the context. Now, after setting that context, I would like to start and hear from you. Is a question to all of you, is the moment I say Retail Media Network, what are the few things that come to your mind? Whether it is opportunities, how do you connect with people, how do you do transactions, how do you build brands, anything that comes to your mind? 2 or 3 things that come to your mind the moment you hear the word retail media network.
Yeah, I think I'll start with your statement that in Indonesia, that this retail media network will continue to grow, because I think the unique of the retail media network, this really provides an ecosystem that is beyond the transactions. So this is the first one, which actually it's a power of the first party data, coming not only from the transactions, but it can go until first as a targeting. The second one is even like can go extend up to the full funnel journey. So this is something that is very important, because when you say Indonesia specifically, I think this is a very unique country also, getting the insight of on how the beauty, I call it in Indonesia, is the unity of the diversity.
Yeah.
You can imagine Indonesia consists of the 17,000 islands,
Yes.
and then with more than thousands of tribes. There is also construct some of the cultures and may also influence like consumption behavior and then also shopping behaviors. There is these retail media networks somehow creates like an opportunity, I would say.
Yeah.
The opportunity for the industry to target
Yeah.
the right audience and also to optimize the result. So I think this is something that is very important when you say about the retail media network. And then also the projections of this is getting increased, especially in Indonesia. The second one that I would like to highlight is actually also because of the evolutions. The evolutions of the consumer trends when it comes into, if you remember, is the trend of the commerce.
Yeah.
So the trend of the commerce, and also then after that coming into the super apps, like you mentioned in the slides, like coming with the Grab, with the others retailers, and nowadays it's not only 1, 2, 3, it's getting grow and more, because they also provides seamless experience.
Yeah.
That and Indonesian consumers is getting more tech savvy, and the super apps in here is not only for a product but also going to the services.
Yeah.
So the data that can be provided into the insights, it is very rich for a brand to like not only target, I think, also to get the insights and to utilize it, go along to the consumer's journey. That's my point of view when talking about the retail media network, and the opportunities still grow even further. And the third one, I think, talking about the evolutions more and more, this retail media network, now the enhancement even go beyond with the technology, like for example, like AI, making the enhancement of the result, and also how it can help both for the retailer and also both for the industry, the brand, can also get the better optimizations on the result and also the efficiency in terms of the budget. Yeah, that's from my point of view.
Yeah. David?
Yeah, so I think I'm a bit biased here because I work in in outdoor media. And basically there's just one thing that comes to my mind, and that's pretty much digital assets right next to key POS, right? So actually 70% of Jabodetabek audiences waking hours are spent outside of their home, right? So these outdoor media close to key points of purchase are what comes to mind here. Aside from that, you already mentioned the 17,000 islands of Indonesia, so I think also for retailers across the country, there's a massive opportunity here to also set up in-store digital assets to further engage with the audience and to drive them down the path of purchase.
For me, when it's the first time that I hear about retail media network, I was also questioning what is it. even in the room, we talked with somebody and also asked. But I think when Anand mentioned about it, this is something familiar for us. So for me, retail media network is more on the change of perspective and approach how we can connect with our consumer and our shoppers. And I think what's related to us here in the industry, related to the Ramadan context that we are talking about, I believe every industry will have different approach, different challenges, and different situation where we can take this retail media network as opportunity. In my case, let's say Chica will be totally different in her industry, in my industry, in pharmaceutical/consumer healthcare. A lot of challenges, a lot of restrictions, but how we can be creative and using a retail media network to use the moment like Ramadan, right on the moment, going back to the inside and close the loop until transactions. And I think that's why everything related to the retail media network will be very interesting. But everybody will be questioning what will be the best approach. And I think what is very important is just to do test and learn, because every industry, every category will be different. So what we need to do is just to make sure we have the benchmarking, understand the shopper insights, where our consumer shoppers go, where do they go, where do they shop. David mentioned they go outdoor. Do they go outdoor? How can we approach to them? How we can connect with them? So then after that, we can always go back to the objective where we can always optimize with the retail media network.
Got it. Thank you. So this is where I think it's so interesting to have people with different backgrounds and expertise, because for everybody's perspective is so different and we can all learn from each other. So my next question to you, Chica, is for your industry specifically, what are the biggest opportunities and challenges? And if you can also highlight the context of Ramadan, that would be great.
So maybe to set the context, I work in the IFCM business, or infant formula children nutrition category. So talking about this category, it is one of the pre-planned category, because moms as a target audience will buy this product regularly. So as a pre-planned category, when we recruit moms, these moms will continue 70% to the next stages. So it is very important for us, for me in this industry, in this category, to recruit the right audience. So that's the first one. That's why when it comes into the retail media network, it's really give opportunity to identify. Because the next challenge, because I come from the super premium IFCM, meaning that in the super premium, I would like to set also the context, only 10% of the total IFCM. So you can imagine in the total of Indonesia, how to target this only 10% of the total IFCM. So the retail media network is one of the big opportunity, first to target and also to understand the insight, and when we come into the setting the target, who is the moms, and also based on with this retail media network, understanding is not only coming with the brand that they buy, but also even can be further. For example, with the spending in that retail, or for example, from the adjacent category that they bought, or even for not only from the adjacent category, but also even for example, like one thing that is quite unique, even with the Grab, for example, one of the case that we try to approach that with the demographic of the female, then with the mom with the spending on the ticket, with the spend with the premium transportations, and then after that, after we target, there is something that is come into the activities or type of promotions that we can give to them. For example, setting up into the context of the Ramadan. In this category, moms will not then change the consumptions from the children to bring more milk during the Ramadan. So, but the thing is, how to make sure, because the cash flow of the moms during the Ramadan, the festivity, must be a bit different, the spending. So how to make sure that we can still tap on the moment of the Ramadan. For example, with the type of the promotions that we offer, that are the importance of the drinking milk during the sahur or the buka puasa. That is then give them with the more interactive or more interesting type of promotions that mom after that will go into the transactions. I think that one of the learning and one of the opportunity, because 70% will go in after they buy our product, but not to forget there is also a challenge that they might be also lapse. This is something when it comes into the retail media network, the beauty is we can do the retarget. We can go back again to these consumers and do the another customized content and also customized offer. Then also one of the opportunity of this category is how to extend to the loyalty program. I think this is to close the loop from the recruitment, starting from the retail media network, even come to the loyalty program. I think this is something that is unique from the category that I handle that might be different from your category, especially also during this Ramadan season. Yeah.
Yeah, great, thank you. David, question to you. What do you think are the best practices to integrate all media to align with people's path to purchase?
Yeah, so maybe also just first a bit of background, right? So with outdoor media or out of home, as we call it, it's still mostly an awareness-driven media, right? So that's pretty much top funnel. Any asset that you see outside on the street, be it, these giant roadside LEDs, or within modes of public transport, digital assets, even the buses, the bus ramps, so all of that counts as out of home. And actually, when you look at, let's say, digital channels that are being used for campaigns, there was a study also done by the OAAA, that's the Outdoor Association of the United States, Outdoor Advertising Association. It states that when you combine out of home with a digital campaign, the effects of the campaign are actually amplified by some 80%, right? So adding out of home to the media mix is crucial here, I would say, although it's still mostly an awareness-driven media. But then you have these, especially in Indonesia, right? You have these 3 key peak seasons. You have Ramadan, you have the school holidays, and you have Nataru towards the end of the year. And basically, in out of home, most of these assets, whenever you set up an out of home asset, it's located usually right next to a POS, right? Because it also invites advertisers to use that spot to really appeal to audiences and invite them to purchase a product in store. But also mid to bottom funnel, there are ways to make sure that the out-of-home campaign is effective. I want to give you a few examples here. So on top of an out-of-home campaign, you can also do an activation and do like giveaways and special promos to get people to get a feel for your product. And another cool thing that has been done in Indonesia, especially, is during Ramadan. Of course, you have iftar, and you can do let's say you have an ad and it says "Selamat berbuka puasa," and then right next to branded content. And it really makes the audiences feel as part of that special Ramadan spirit. And I'd say third, also be interactive, right? Use QR codes that link directly to a special promo that you can then use to shop for, let's say, nutrition products on Shopee or whatnot. So all of these things can really be used during peak season when so many people are on the move to make sure that the audiences are engaged.
Thank you. Question to you, Midha. Is there an opportunity to integrate trade budgets and marketing budgets? And what would you be learning and suggestions for that?
Okay, so I think when Chika and Anand mentions when we have a campaign We have a moment like Ramadan, want to build awareness until the conversions. Definitely, budgeting between marketing and trade marketing is something that we can do. Might not be easy, but I will take that as opportunity, because for sure when we are doing something, we always have one common goal, right? We want to have, let's say, awareness, sales, achievement, something like that. But in overall the campaign, we have to set one common goal. And then it goes back to the KPI. We have to have clear KPI, even though we have one set goals. Marketing, they have their own KPI. Awareness, brand trackers and everything. Sales also, uplift and everything. So we have to set that clearly. Let's go back to the planner. When we start to make a campaign, Ramadan is a big moment for everybody. Everybody put all of the money there. But not everybody, not all companies have the luxury to have all of the budget in the world, where the planning is very critical. Brand has their own brand P&L, country also have country P&L, where it comes to collaborations and alignment, where we want to invest more. So I think it always goes back to that KPI, what we want to achieve, and then where we want to invest more. So when I said earlier about test and learn, this is something that how we want to steal in the crowd of Ramadan. Everybody invests everywhere. Let's say you only have $100. Where you want to invest more? Every category will be different. Where you want to invest more here? Do we want to invest more in out of home? Do we want to invest more in trade? But I think that's very possible, and it has to be happen by the strong collaboration within the team and strong leadership, because we don't want to hear, let's say, marketing, no, I don't want to invest more. Trade, you only invest here this much. So it's always happen all the time. So I think it's always go back to the planning, the tracking, and also how we do test and learn, and we can take learning for the next round. So I think the collaboration is the critical, but I think it's very, very important, and I think it's very doable.
Great. Thank you so much for all your insights. So I think we have only 2 minutes left, but I'm going to try and recap. Please add if I miss out anything. So the first thing is, retail media network is not just for transactions and conversions. You can have right targeting, you can recruit people, you can build strong relationships and build a solid loyalty program. The second thing which is important is we need to keep in mind the path to purchase and align our efforts, because every media will play a role, and how do we align and help. And the last point is, despite all the differences that we have, we need to collaborate and test and learn to find out what is the optimal level of investment across all media, and how do we collaborate between marketing and trade budgets. Yeah?
Sounds about right.
Okay, that's it. We're just in time.
Amazing.
Thank you
Give me
so
a
much.
round of applause for our panel.